One day I went to the cemetery. On the way, I met my friend Olivia, whose father and grandfather were also buried in the cemetery. "Hey, what's that load you're holding?" Olivia asked. "It's not just a rake, it's a shovel, a saw, and a small hatchet," I said. "I tiled my grandfather's and father's graves, and now I only go there with a broom and a rag. Enough of this extra work, I almost went to the other world because of it." "Tired?" I asked. "Worse, I almost lost my leg, and I saw something I wasn't supposed to see. The cemetery is so far away from the dump, it would take 7 sweats to reach it with a sack. I found another dumpster, a small one, and decided to empty my bag there. I was about to leave when I felt a pain in my foot. Turns out I stepped on a piece of rusty netting. I don't know who brought that mesh here, but the wire pierced my heel even through my slipper. Groaning in pain, I pulled the wire out of my leg and thought about trauma care and tetanus shots. At that time, a young guy appeared next to me and immediately rattled his voice. "Is it okay that there's a grave here, too? Who allowed you to throw garbage here? This is not a dump." I moaned in pain. My leg was bleeding and I looked at him. The guy was wearing only pants and he had tattoos on his chest and back. Beautiful tattoos of black angel wings on his back. And those wings were bound with iron chains. The handsome guy was obviously proud of these tattoos. He even went shirtless even in cold weather. And how can you not be proud of the chains across your chest and back, the work of a genius tattoo artist? I know I shouldn't have dumped the weeds in here, but there was already a pile. I hurt my leg on a piece of wire. Now I can't even stand on my foot. I groaned in pain. "Let me see your leg, stupid. Sit on this grass," he said, lifting my leg up to his nose. "You didn't pull the wire out all the way. There's a piece of iron still in your leg. Don't whine, I'll help you now." Then I forgot about the pain when I saw what he was doing. He pressed my heel against his, and the chains I'd mistaken for tattoos jingled and tightened. There was a click, and a tiny piece of wire stuck to the chains. I stared at his chains in horror. They ran through his body, from his shoulders to his hips, but how could I live with that? And when he turned his back to me, I was silent with fear. The wind was ruffling the feathers on his wings. And those wings wanted to open, but they were held back by chains. "Now your leg won't hurt. You need to get to the hospital. Get a tetanus shot, and then you can put a candle to my victim John. I don't need anything else. Now get out." I ran away, not forgetting my rake and shovel. And I didn't go to the hospital. I went straight to the church to put a candle in. After the hospital washed the wound, bandaged and immunized, I thought only about who I saw. Where do they get those tattoos with wings and chains? And who is John? This story plagued me for months as I nursed my leg back to health. It was a serious wound. Then I decided to try my hand at detective work. I started making the rounds of tattoo parlors, asking if they had a master named Kirill. I found one salon. The girl master listened to me, said yes, we had John work here. He was a great tattoo artist, but he fell for a psycho. John made him a cool tattoo in the form of chains and wings, but if he knew how it would turn out, he would have run away from him. This client got hepatitis somewhere and thought it was from a visit to our salon. He came in and attacked John right in front of us. We couldn't pull him off, he was too strong. When the police arrived, John was already dead. It's not our fault, and neither is John's. We're sanitary, our equipment is always sterile. Maybe he got it somewhere else and John was the culprit. But he was a good man. Do you know what happened to his killer? Was he arrested? I asked. Yes, he was. But they say he strangled himself in his cell. Or he had help. Who knows? I almost cried and I got goosebumps. I couldn't forget the black wings and chains that chained the suicide to his grave forever. His grave had been turned into a dump, and his soul had come to remorse too late. Perhaps he only helped me to make amends to the one he killed. That's why I put dense slabs on the graves of my loved ones, so that nothing would grow there. I don't want to see someone whose wings are chained.